My parents drained my college fund to cover my sister's dream wedding. You can just get student loans, my dad said, like it was nothing. But when they tried tapping into their retirement savings, they found out Grandma had set some very specific rules. For 3 days, the email from the scholarship committee sat unopened in my inbox. I knew what they needed, just a simple confirmation about my college fund. The fund my grandmother had set up the day I was born, meant to make my dreams possible. The fund that, as of last Tuesday, was completely gone. My name is Sophia, and right then, I felt my future slipping through my fingers. Mom, I called out, walking into the kitchen where she was meticulously arranging flower samples. Can we talk about the college fund? She barely glanced up from the lavender sprigs. Honey, we've gone over this. The wedding's only 2 months away. These arrangements don't pay for themselves. But that money was for my education. I pushed back, my voice shaking. Grandma Ella specifically said it was untouchable until... Oh, please don't start. Mom cut me off, finally looking at me. Your sister's wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event. College will still be there. Take out loans, like everybody else. The front door swung open, and Harmony breezed in, arms loaded with shopping bags. Mom, you will not believe the bridesmaid gifts I found. I watched Mom's whole face light up, transforming as she rushed over to see Harmony's haul. I might as well have been invisible. Show me everything, Mom squealed, helping Harmony spread the items across the kitchen counter, right on top of my scholarship documents. Hey, I was using that space, I said weakly. Oh, sorry, Harmony chirped, not sounding sorry at all. But seriously, look, personalized silk robes, aren't they divine? I gathered my papers, retreating to my room, but not before hearing Mom exclaim, $300 each? What a steal for this quality. That night, I cornered Dad in his study. Did you even think about asking me before you took my college fund? He looked up from his laptop, sighing like I was being totally unreasonable. Sophia, you're smart. You'll get scholarships. Your sister needs a perfect wedding. You know how important the Youngs are. And what about what I need? I asked, fighting back tears. What you need, he said firmly, is to stop being so self-centered. This is about family. I laughed, a bitter sound. Family? Was it family when Grandma Ella made you promise, right? In front of me, that you would safeguard that money only for my education? Your grandmother. He paused, a flicker of something crossing his face. Didn't always understand how the real world works. Priorities change. I went back to my bedroom and pulled out Grandma Ella's last birthday card to me. Inside, her neat handwriting read, Remember, my clever girl, I've made sure you're taken care of, just in case. Those last 3 words echoed in my head as I stared at her writing. Just in case. In case of what? What had she seen coming? My phone buzzed. Harmony, a text about a dress fitting. I ignored it. Instead, I scrolled through my contacts until I found the number I needed. My hands were shaking as I dialed. Hope. Ferguson's office, a crisp voice answered. Hi, I managed, trying to sound steady. This is Sophia Bowen. My grandmother was Ella Ferguson. There was a pause. Yes, of course. How can I help you? I think something is seriously wrong. The words tumbled out. My parents just emptied my college fund, the one Grandma set up for me. They're using it for my sister's wedding, but I remember Grandma saying she had protected it somehow, made sure it couldn't be touched. Stop right there, Hope. Cut in, her voice suddenly sharp. Don't say anything more over the phone. Can you be at my office tomorrow, 9 a.m.? Yes, but bring any documents you have related to the fund. And Sophia, she paused, do not tell your parents you are meeting with me. After I hung up, I could hear Harmony's laughter drifting upstairs, followed by Mom's excited chatter about table arrangements. I remembered Grandma Ella's knowing smile during our last visit, how she squeezed my hand and said, Sometimes true justice takes time, my dear. I hadn't understood then. I was starting to now. The fluorescent lights of Miller's books buzzed. Over my head as I restocked shelves, my eyes scratchy from not sleeping. 3 job applications, 2 scholarship essays. I'd been up until 4 odd a.m. My hands trembled as I arranged the book spines. Wrong shelf, Ryan murmured behind me. I jumped, nearly dropping Living Your Best Life on his foot. Sorry, I mumbled, blinking at the titles. He was right. I'd put relationship advice in the career section. When was the last time you ate? He leaned against the shelf, looking concerned. Didn't realize... My phone buzzed. A group text. Family meeting tonight. Urgent. I showed it to Ryan. He whistled. Another wedding emergency? The florist wants extra for imported peonies. My voice felt empty. Apparently, local flowers aren't good enough for the Youngs. How much extra? $5,000. I laughed, but it sounded more like a sob. That's a semester's worth of textbooks. Ryan touched my shoulder. Go take your break. I'll handle this. In the break room, I opened my laptop and stared at another scholarship application. The words blurred together. How was I supposed to explain why I deserved financial aid when my own family clearly thought I didn't? My phone rang. Hope Ferguson. I answered immediately. I've reviewed everything, she said directly. Can you come in tomorrow morning? I'm working until... This is important, Sophia. Your grandmother made sure you weren't forgotten. Something in her tone made my heart jump. What does that mean? Not over the phone. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp. She paused. Bring a notebook. I got home just after 6:05 p.m., but the family meeting was already in full swing. And it's not just the peonies, Harmony was gesturing dramatically. Dante's mother thinks the table settings look cheap. We need upgrades. Dad rubbed his temples. How much? Only $12,000 more. Harmony's voice turned syrupy sweet, her usual tactic. Daddy, please. The Youngs expect... The Youngs this? The Youngs that! I snapped, surprising everyone, especially myself. Maybe the Youngs should pay for their precious table settings. Silence fell over the room. Mom's face hardened. Sophia, if you can't be supportive... Supportive? I stood up, my chair scraping back. You turned my entire future into centerpieces and you expect me to be supportive? Don't be so dramatic. Harmony rolled her eyes. It's just college. You can go to community college or something. I stared at her, this person who was supposed to be my sister, feeling something break inside me. I got into Princeton. Mom's head snapped up. Full academic acceptance. I pulled the crumpled letter from my bag. But I can't go. I can't afford it. Because my college fund is paying for your imported flowers and crystal glasses. Harmony at least looked uneasy. Dad cleared his throat. We'll figure something out, Sophia. Maybe we can access some of your grandmother's retirement accounts. Figure something out? I laughed. Like figuring out how to empty an account that wasn't yours to take in the first place? Enough! Mom slammed her hand down. Go to your room if you're going to be difficult. As I turned to leave, I stopped. You know what Grandma Ella once told me? Sometimes, the people who hurt you most can't see past their own reflection. Walking upstairs, Hope's voice echoed in my mind. Your grandmother made sure you weren't forgotten. The next morning, I sat in Hope's office. My hand clutched my notebook as she read from a legal document. The clause is very clear. She looked up at me. Parents' access to Ella's accounts is contingent on the intact preservation of Sophia's educational trust. My heart stopped. What does that mean? Hope smiled. Just for a moment, it was pure Grandma Ella. It means, my dear, that your grandmother saw this coming. She made sure there would be consequences. From my bedroom window, I watched Dad pacing the driveway, phone glued to his ear, his face getting redder. What do you mean, denied? He yelled. I'm her son-in-law. Those accounts have my name on them. Inside, Mom was having her own meltdown in the kitchen. The honeymoon deposit is due tomorrow. I heard her tell someone. The Maldives package is non-refundable. I should have felt guilty. Instead, I felt this strange calm as I emailed Hope. They're trying to access the accounts now. What happens next? Her reply was swift. Exactly as your grandmother planned. Would you like to see the paperwork? An hour later, I was back in Hope's office. Documents were spread across her desk. Your grandmother was incredibly thorough, she explained, pointing to a section. The moment they touched your college fund, it triggered this clause. They can't access a single cent of her retirement accounts until your education trust is fully restored. But they already spent it, I said. Hope's smile sharpened. Precisely. Dante's family expects a certain standard, Mom had said last week about the honeymoon costs. We can always get the money back from grandmother's accounts. Except, they couldn't. My phone buzzed. Ryan. Okay? You seemed off at work yesterday. Before I could reply, Hope slid another document across the desk. Your grandmother left this for you. It was to be opened when the clause was triggered. It was a heavy cream envelope. Grandma Ella's familiar script flowed across the paper. My dear Sophia, if you are reading this, they have done exactly as I feared. Your sister's shadow has always been long. I made sure it wouldn't eclipse your future. Sometimes the kindest act is letting people face the consequences of their choices. Do not let guilt manipulate you into fixing this for them. You are not responsible for their decisions. All my love, Grandma Ella. I folded the letter carefully. Hope continued. They will pressure you for a waiver. Do not sign it. It's legally binding. How much? I asked. Are the retirement accounts worth? $4.8 million. Hope met my eyes. Plus interest. The front door was open when I got back, voices spilling out. Harmony's fiancé, Dante, was there, gesturing angrily. My mother already told everyone about the Maldives. We can't just cancel. Do you know how embarrassing that would be? We'll figure it out, Mom promised tightly. It's just a small issue. With accessing the funds. Small issue? Dad interrupted. The bank won't even talk to me. They keep referring us to that damn lawyer. I tried to slip past them. Mom's head snapped up. Her makeup was smeared, her eyes wild. Tell me what you did, she whispered. I didn't do anything, I said truthfully. Grandma Ella did. What is that even supposed to mean? Dante demanded. Mom went pale. The clause, she breathed. That's what Ella meant? Christmas? The arrangements? What clause? Harmony appeared, still dressed in her wedding planning clothes. What is going on? Your sister, Mom trembled. She somehow got grandmother to lock us out of her retirement savings. I didn't get her to do anything, I corrected. You did. By stealing my college fund. We borrowed it, Dad shouted. Borrowed? Without asking? Without permission? For a wedding that's costing more than 4 years of tuition? My voice was steady now. Actions have consequences. Fix this. Harmony stepped towards me, her perfect features twisted in a frown. Fix it now! I can't, I stated. And I wouldn't, if I could. You selfish little… Mom lunged at me. Dad caught her arm. Just talk to Hope again, he said. There has to be a way around this. I walked past them, up the stairs, their voices following me. The Youngs will never understand. We can't cancel the honeymoon. How could she do this? In my room, I pulled out my phone. I replied to Ryan, no, not okay, but I think I will be. I opened my laptop and started another scholarship application. Below me, I could hear Mom crying, Dad arguing, Harmony demanding. For the first time in years, their drama felt distant, like a storm I was watching from a safe place. My phone lit up. Hope, your grandmother would be proud. I thought of the letter, consequences, choices, shadows that had grown too long. I smiled. The church bells chimed. Guests filed in, designer dresses, air kisses. I sat in the back row, smoothing down my simple blue dress. The only one Mom had said was appropriate for me. The Youngs are here! An excited whisper went through the crowd. Heads turned as Dante's family entered, dripping in jewelry and radiating superiority. A hand touched my shoulder. Ryan slid into the seat beside me, looking uncomfortable in a borrowed suit. Didn't have to come alone, he said quietly. I didn't explain why I was sitting in the back of my own sister's wedding. The music began. Harmony appeared, radiant in her custom gown, floating down the aisle. Mom cried in the front row. Dad beamed beside her. And a few words from the family, the minister announced. I watched various relatives speak. Mom's voice shook as she talked about her beautiful firstborn daughter. Dad cleared his throat repeatedly during his little princess toast. No one asked me. Do you want to say something? Ryan whispered. I shook my head. What could I say? Congratulations on the wedding that cost me my future. Best wishes on a marriage funded by theft. I set down my glass of water. They wouldn't believe me anyway. Later, as the reception started winding down, Mom cornered me near the restrooms. Her eyes were glassy, from champagne or tears. This is all your fault, she slurred. Your grandmother poisoned you against us. No, I stepped back. You did that yourselves. We gave you everything. You gave Harmony everything, I corrected. You gave me the leftovers. That's not true. Her voice wavered. Really? Name one thing that was just for me. One time you chose me first? Her mouth opened, then closed. Exactly. I turned to leave. Where are you going? Home. My shift starts at 8 a.m. But it's your sister's wedding. I've been here, I stated, sitting in the back row, invisible, just like always. I found Ryan waiting for me. Ready? Almost. I looked back at the venue, the twinkling lights, the champagne flowing. A dream wedding that was my nightmare. It's funny, I said as we walked towards the car. They keep saying Grandma turned me against them. She didn't. She just gave me the power to stop letting them hurt me. Are you going to be okay? Ryan asked. I thought about the scholarship applications, my part-time job at the library, the future I was rebuilding piece by piece. I will be. My phone buzzed. Harmony. Where'd you go? Mom's crying in the bathroom. I turned off my phone. At home, the house was dark and quiet. I kicked off my shoes and headed upstairs. I stopped. Something was on my bed. The baby album Mom used to keep in the closet. A note was stuck to the front. Your grandmother poisoned us against you. I opened it. Every single photo of me had been removed, except one, my high school graduation, standing alone. In the background, the rest of the family was clustered around Harmony. The message was clear. This was war. I tucked the album away. I realized something else. I thought Grandma had given me a weapon. But she had really given me armor, protection against guilt and manipulation. I was finally ready to use it. The sounds of another argument echoed from downstairs as I focused on my laptop. 3 weeks after the wedding, things were unraveling. Fast. You mean we can't pay the credit card bill? Mom's voice rose. We have to pay something. With what? Dad shouted back. The accounts are frozen. The cards are maxed. Your daughter and her husband are living in the guest room, eating us out of house and home. I clicked submit on my library leadership grant application, Ryan's idea. The position offered tuition assistance and flexible hours. I needed it. My door burst open. Mom was standing there, her mascara streaked. You have to help us. No. But we're your parents. Parents don't steal from their children. I closed my laptop. We didn't steal. I was interrupted by Harmony yelling from downstairs. Mom, Dante's parents are coming for dinner tomorrow. We need groceries. Mom's face crumpled. I can't afford. But they're expecting us to host. Harmony appeared behind Mom wearing silk pajamas at 2 p.m. Daddy, just call Hope again? I tried. Dad emerged from his study, looking older than ever. She says the clause is ironclad, unless Sophia restores the college fund. Then make her. Sign something, Harmony pointed at me. Make her fix this. I can't fix your problems, I stood up, and I'm not going to try. My phone buzzed. An email from the library. I opened it, my heart racing. What is that? Mom tried to peek. I got the grant, I said, my voice steady. Full tuition coverage and a paid position at the university library. A deafening silence fell over the house. Congratulations, Dad, finally said, his tone hollow. Harmony snorted. Great. While we're drowning, you get free money. It's not free, I snapped. I worked for this. I earned it. While you were planning your perfect wedding, I was writing applications and working. Double shifts. Girls, Mom started, but was cut off by the doorbell ringing. Dad answered it. A moment later, his voice carried up the stairs. Hope, what are you doing here? I hurried downstairs. Hope stood in the foyer, elegant in a charcoal suit. I came to deliver this personally. She held out an envelope to Dad. It's the final ruling from the bank's legal department. Dad's hand shook as he read it. This is impossible. The terms were quite clear, Hope stated. Misuse of Sophia's educational trust has resulted in a permanent restriction of access to Ella's retirement accounts. There is no appeal. But, that's our money, Mom cried. No. Hope's voice was steel. That was Ella's money, with specific conditions. Conditions that were violated. We're her parents, Dad tried again. We had the right. You had an obligation, Hope corrected. To protect your daughter's future. You chose not to honor that. These are the consequences. Harmony started crying. But what about us? Our bills? Hope's expression remained unchanged. I would suggest seeking financial counseling. Good day. After she left, the house felt like a tomb. Dad vanished back into his study. Mom sat at the kitchen table, staring blankly. Harmony retreated to the guest room and slammed the door. My phone buzzed. Ryan, did you get the grant? I typed back, yes, and something else. Freedom. That evening, leaving for my bookstore shift, I overheard Dante in the garden, talking on the phone. Mother, please. Yes, I know the wedding was expensive. No, we can't move in with you. It would look bad. Inside, Mom was at the kitchen table calculating bills, writing numbers on the back of an envelope. Her handwriting was messy. The numbers looked bigger. Sophia, she called as I reached the door. Please, we're still your family. I thought of the empty album, the years of being second best, the casual cruelty of taking my future to fund Harmony's big day. No, I said quietly. You're just the people who raised me. Family protects. Walking to my car, I saw Dad through. The study window, on the phone again, another bank. Harmony was on the front step, scrolling through honeymoon photos on her phone, her bubble of privilege still seemingly intact. My phone lit up, an email. Congratulations, acceptance to the Advanced Library Sciences program. I started the car. I left them to their choices and their consequences. In the rearview mirror, the house looked smaller, less intimidating, like their power over me. Just sign it, Sophia. Dad slid the waiver across the kitchen table. One signature and all this goes away. I glanced at it without touching it. No. Be reasonable, he pleaded. Your mother is barely sleeping. The bank is threatening foreclosure. We could lose everything. Like I lost my college fund? He slammed his hand on the table. Enough. Stop being childish. No, I'm being consistent. I stood up. You made your choice. Now you have to live with it. Mom appeared in the doorway, clutching a coffee mug like it was her lifeline. Please, sweetie, we're desperate. I remember being desperate, I said. I begged you not to take my money. I showed you my acceptance letter. I tried to explain about Princeton. Did you listen then? The front door opened. Harmony stormed in. The country club canceled our membership. Do you know how humiliating that is? Dante's mother was right there. We couldn't afford the dues, Dad muttered. This is all your fault. Harmony whirled, on me. Just sign the stupid waiver. Or what? I asked. Are you going to take something else? Her face twisted. Grandma Ella would be ashamed of you. A bitter laugh escaped me. Really? She's the one who set this up. She saw exactly who you all were. She made sure you couldn't keep hurting me forever. We never hurt you, Mom cried. Tell me, I pulled out my phone. Do you remember this email? The one where I told you about my Princeton acceptance? Do you know what your reply was? I read it aloud. That's nice, honey. Can you help with Harmony's wedding favors this weekend? Mom paled. I was busy. You were always busy. For Harmony, never for me. I turned to Harmony. And you? When I told you about Princeton? You said, quote, why go so far? You're just making everything about you again. I didn't mean, yes, you did. I picked up the waiver. I ripped it in half. That's what you all meant by everything you did. Every time you chose her. Every time you dismissed my dreams. Every time you took what was mine and gave it to her. Grandma's money was meant for all of us, Dad protested. Really? Call Hope. Ask her exactly what Grandma meant. Their silence was telling. Harmony stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. What do you want? An apology? Fine, I'm sorry. Now fix this. An apology? I stared at her. You think sorry makes up for 18 years of being treated like I didn't matter? For watching my future get spent on your designer dress? You always make everything harder, she hissed. Then her hand shot out. She slapped me. Across the face. The room froze. My cheek stung, but I didn't flinch. Thank you, I said quietly. For what? She spat. For proving Grandma right. I touched my cheek. She told me once, people show their true selves when they can't control you anymore. Mom was crying. Dad looked away. Harmony stood there, her hand raised, shocked by her own action. I'm leaving, I announced. I have work. And then I have a meeting about the grant, the one that none of you congratulated me for. Sophia, please, Mom reached for me. We're still your parents. No, I stepped back. You're just the people who had kids and loved one of them more. That's not parenting. That's favoritism. I grabbed my keys and my bag. Behind me, I could hear Harmony crying, Mom comforting, her, of course, and Dad making another frustrated call. Grandma Ella's voice echoed, don't let them rush you into playing small. My phone buzzed. Ryan, still on for coffee after your shift? I typed back, yes. I need to tell you what just happened. Everything is okay? I touched my cheek again. It wasn't pain anymore. It was clarity. Better than okay. I was finally free. Driving away, I saw them through the window. Mom holding Harmony, Dad pacing. The perfect family picture was cracking, under the weight of consequences. They had tried to guilt-trip me into letting them off the hook. They had tried to manipulate me into fixing their mistakes. They had even tried violence. But Grandma Ella had given me more than just legal protection. She had given me the strength to stand firm, to let karma do its work, to watch them reap what they had sown, and I wasn't going to waste that gift. Did you hear about Turner, Rachel? I overheard Aunt Linda whisper at a family reunion. They're selling the house, turning it into a rental. And Harmony? Uncle Pete leaned in. She's living with Dante's parents now. Marriage is rocky. I arranged cookies on the buffet table, pretending I didn't hear. It had been 3 months since the slap, since I walked away. Sophia, Aunt Linda noticed me. Just, how are you doing, dear? Great, actually, I smiled. The library program is going well. I'm starting grad courses next month. On scholarship, Uncle Pete added pointedly. Unlike some, earned her way. The family was split now. Some admired my stand, others thought I had destroyed the family. The divide deepened after Dad's failed lawsuit against Hope. My phone buzzed. Ryan, court documents posted online. Want me to send them? I replied. No need. I'm done keeping score. Aunt Linda touched my arm. Your grandmother would be so proud. She ruined us. Mom's voice cut through the room. She was standing in the doorway, swaying slightly. The drinking had started after they lost the house. Her own mother chose her over all of us. Rachel, Uncle Pete warned. Not the time. When is the time? She stumbled forward. My daughter won't speak to me. My husband's depression is getting worse. Harmony's marriage is failing. And she pointed a trembling finger at me, just watches us burn. You set the fire, I said quietly. I just refused to put it out. The room went silent. I have something to say, I continued, setting a cookie platter down. I wrote it all out. I sent it to Harmony this morning. I pulled out my phone. I read it aloud. Dear Harmony, you got the fairy tale, the perfect wedding, the designer dress, the exotic honeymoon. You got everything you wanted, including my future. What you didn't get? Peace, respect, self-sufficiency. You never learned to stand alone. You were always held up. Now they can't hold you up anymore. And you're falling. I'm not writing this to gloat. I'm writing because you should know. This isn't revenge. It's consequences. This is what happens when you build your happiness on someone else's pain. You got the fairy tale. I got the truth. Sophia. Mom lunged for my phone. Uncle Pete caught her arm. Rachel, enough. How dare you, she hissed at me. After everything we did for you. Everything you did for me? I laughed. Let's make a list. You took my college fund. You dismissed my achievements. You enabled Harmony's entitlement. You chose her happiness over my future. Every single time. We loved you. No, you loved having someone to sacrifice. My phone buzzed again. Harmony voicemail. I played it on speaker. Sophia, I didn't know how to love you back then. I don't think I knew how to love anyone but myself. I'm sorry. Not because I need something now, but because I finally understand what you lost. What we all took. I ended the playback. Mom crumpled into a chair, sobbing. Aunt Linda rushed to comfort her. Uncle Pete looked on with disapproval. I have to go, I announced. I have a study group. Sophia, please, Mom called weakly. I forgive you, I said, surprising everyone, including myself. Not because you deserve it, you don't. But I don't want to carry the anger anymore. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, and it isn't fixing your mistakes. It just means I'm free. Outside, Ryan was waiting. How did it go? Exactly as expected. I buckled my seatbelt. They're still waiting for me to cave, to fix everything. Will you? I thought of Harmony's voicemail, Mom's tears, Dad's depression, the consequences finally catching up to all of them. No, I said firmly. Some lessons have to be learned the hard way. Driving away, I saw Mom watching from the window, still crying. My phone buzzed. 3 missed calls from Harmony, a text from Dad. I should have protected you. I'm sorry we failed. Too little, too late. I turned the corner. I felt lighter. Their drama wasn't my responsibility anymore. Their problems weren't mine to solve. I had my own story to write now, and it didn't include anyone else's sacrifice. The last box of Grandma Ella's books sat on the floor of my new apartment. Each one held a memory. Her reading to me, teaching me how to think critically, how to stand up for myself. My phone lit up. Hope. Your grandmother would be proud of how you handled everything. Coffee next week? I smiled. Remembering Grandma Ella, always my favorite chapter. Revenge didn't heal me, I told Ryan, who was watching me carefully. But making sure they finally felt some fraction of what I felt. Forgotten, disposable. Somehow that was enough. He took my hand. Ready to write your own story now? I looked around the modest apartment. The boxes of books. The life I was building from the ashes of their betrayal. The strength I found in standing firm. The peace I discovered in letting go. Yes, I squeezed his hand. This time, I'm the author. I placed Grandma's letter inside my favorite book. I didn't need to reread it. The message was already written. In my heart, in my choices, in my refusal to be anyone's sacrifice ever again. Some people might call it revenge, others, karma. I just called it justice. And it tasted like freedom.